of you crying and screaming my name. You said that we'd be forever. How could you kill me and lie to my face? Now that we can't be together, there's just no hope for a final embrace. So here we are, I'm in your head, I'm in your heart. You were told to run away, soak the place and light the flame. Pain money and fame. I played their game and had to scream my name. I will show no shame. I live and die for this. And if I come off soft, bitch, you on this.
Are you scared?
Devil without a cause, and I'm back with the beaver hats and Ben Davis slacks. 30-pack of stroll, 30-pack of hoe. No Rogaine in the propane flows. The chosen one, I'm the living proof with the gift of gab from the city of truth. I jabbed and stabbed and knocked critics back, and I did not stutter when I said that. I'm going platinum, selling rhymes. I went platinum 7 times, and still they ill and wanna see us ride. I guess because only God knows why. They call me cowboy, I'm a singer in black, so throw a finger in the air, let me see where you're at and say, hey, hey. Let me hear where you're at and say, hey, hey. I'm giving it back, so say, hey, hey. Show me some metal and say, hey, 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 hey. Yeah. Fuck all y'all. I like the AC/DC and ZZ Top. Bocephus Beasties and the Kings of Rock. Skinner, Seeger, Limp, Corn, the Stones. David Allen Coe with No Show Jones. Yeah! Pass that bottle around. Got the rock from Detroit. Soul from Motown. The underground stone. Fucking pimp. With tracks that Mac and slap back the whack. Never gain away. I don't play with ass. But watch me rock with Liberace Flash. Punk rock the class. Boy bands are trash. I like Johnny Cash and Grandmaster Flash. Flash, 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 flash. They call me cowboy, I'm a singer in black, so throw a finger in the air, let me see where you're at and say, hey, hey. Let me hear where you're at and say, hey, hey. I'm giving it back, so say, hey, hey. Show me some metal and say, hey, 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 hey.
Yeah, I saw your band jumping around on stage like a bunch of wounded ducks. When you gonna learn, sucker? You just can't fuck with.
American badass, watch me kick. You can roll with rock or you can suck my dick. I'm a porno flick, I'm like Amazing Grace. I'm gonna fuck some hoes after I rock this place. Super fly, living double wide, sidecar my glide so Joe C can ride. Full sack to share, bringing flash and flare. Got the long hair, swinging middle finger in the air. Snakeskin suit, 65 Chevelle. See me ride and sin, hear the rebel yell. I won't live to tell, so if you do, give the next generation a big fuck you. Who knew I'd blow a black pipe warmer? Said fuck high school, pissed on my diploma. Smell the aroma, check my hits. I know it stinks in here, cause I'm the shit. They call me cowboy, I'm a singer in black, so throw a finger in the air, let me see where you're at and say, hey, hey. Let me hear where you're at and say, hey, hey. I'm giving it back, so say, hey, hey. Show me some metal and say, hey, 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 hey. I'm a cowboy, badass and black, singing, hey, 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 hey. From side to side, from front to back, say, hey, 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 hey. I put Detroit City back on the map for singing, hey, 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 hey. Kid Rock's in the house and that's where I'm at.
All right. Good morning. Let's see if this is working. Guess y'all can hear me, huh? I'm having to rig this thing up. I still have no internet at home, so I'm running off of a 5G hotspot. And I've never, well, we did a short morning show this morning and kind of tested it out. And we'll test out a little bit of the phone calls. I'm not just going to take 100 phone calls. We're just going to talk some college football. I've been gone for a couple of weeks. I tried to upload videos when I could, but it's been a crazy couple of weeks. I've been to, I don't even, 3 or 4 different cities. I spent basically 2 nights at my house over a 2-week period trying to find somewhere that had power and TVs and internet. But we're back. Power got turned back on a couple of days ago. I have no idea when the internet's going to come back on. I'm going to try to do my Saturday streams as normal, which means running 3 TVs, a computer, and streaming all of that all at the same time off of one 5G hotspot. We'll see if it'll work. I'm going to reach a certain point with this 5G hotspot where it just can't handle anymore. I may have to turn 2 of the TVs off and just watch one game. I don't know, but I'm going to figure it out best I can for Saturday. I'm going to figure out best I can for Saturday. And I'm trying to get back to a normal scheduling routine. I don't normally go live on Wednesdays, but it's been a couple of weeks since I was able to go live. So I said, well, we'll come on tonight and talk some college football. If everything goes well tonight, then we'll do the regular call-in show tomorrow, same time, 9 o'clock. I do have the StreamYard set up. I just haven't posted the link. I probably will post the link at some point and have a couple of people call in just to make sure that the StreamYard and everything like that works fine off of the hotspot too before we do the full call-in show tomorrow night. But I appreciate everybody tuning in. I've missed you guys. I mentioned it in the video earlier. I didn't, well, I don't know. Maybe I didn't realize how much I enjoy talking college football with you guys 5 days a week or whatever during the football season. I mean, I did try to upload videos when I could, when I was in an area that had a good enough cell service to get videos uploaded. But that's not the same as doing these live shows and get to talk to you guys in real time and going back and forth with you on the games, either from the previous weekend or the games coming up for the next weekend or whatever it is. So it is good to be back, and I definitely miss talking football with you guys. So big shout out to everybody for tuning in tonight. Uncle Badass Deion Sanders is here still. Unable to change his YouTube name, I guess. LSU for life. Jesse Arms, Nick Koenig, Schultz, the Duck Knight, Caden the Man, Pastor Dave, Green with Envy, Ari Maida, I think, Father Shuey, what's up, buddy? Jonathan Miller, Christopher Easley, Slim Pickens, what's up, buddy? Big Ernch is here. Bo Weevil, Cooter Cat, Jarvis S., Steve Austin, Young Citrus, Cage Unlimited, Spike Nelson, Alan White, Gunnar Stockton for Heisman. Why not? Gunnar Stockton for Heisman 2025, I guess? I don't know. Yeah. I'm here, Lou, but I'm still not home. I'm about to be working Hurricane Milton. Yeah, to anybody that's tuned in, specifically anywhere in Central Florida, from one coast to the other, I'm thinking about y'all. That's a big storm coming on shore, I guess, later tonight down there. Luckily for me up here, we don't have to worry about that one. We're supposed to get a little bit of wind and some rain maybe over the next day or two, but nothing like last time. Nothing like last time. Lou, can you do a Red River pick? Yes. So tomorrow and Friday, I am making a series of prediction videos for all of this weekend's games. Tomorrow and Friday. Because I'm not going to do a hype and hate for Mississippi State. I'm not going to do that. What's the streaming schedule? Well, the call-in show will be tomorrow at 9. Let me check Patreon, because I put the poll up a couple of days ago. I'll leave the poll open until we start the call-in show tomorrow night. So this is tentative here, although it doesn't look like the poll is going to change. On the Patreon poll this week, the prime time games have the biggest percentage of votes, and it's not really close. There must not be any good games on at noon. Noon has 6% of the votes. Afternoon has 31%, and primetime has 63%. So It looks like the Patreon stream will be prime time on Saturday. That could change if for some reason the voting changes a lot here on Patreon between now and tomorrow night at 9 o'clock. Although I can tell you from running this Patreon poll every week for 4 or 5 years, it's not likely to change by 30 percentage points. So we'll probably do the primetime games on Patreon and maybe the afternoon games on YouTube then. So that's the second most votes. And, of course, I'll be on at 9 o'clock for the college football kickoff show, which we missed the last couple of weeks because I didn't have power and I was out of town. So tomorrow night, 9 o'clock, call-in show. Saturday morning, 9 a.m., college kickoff show. And then it looks right now like the Patreon stream will be primetime games Saturday night. And if that's the case, I will probably do the 3:30 games on YouTube. So that would be the streaming schedule. Tony Voigt, I'm probably saying that wrong. Thank you for the super chat, sir. I appreciate that. He says, I don't know the details of the UGA player who got arrested for assault of an unborn child, but if this is true, he needs to be removed immediately, and that goes for any player in the country. No excuse for that kind of behavior. I don't know the details either. It seems like I read somewhere that did he throw his girlfriend out of his apartment, like literally? I don't know the details either, but I mean, assault of an unborn child is when you assault a pregnant woman. So I don't know the whole details of the story, but yeah, he's gone from UGA. He's suspended indefinitely, and he'll be removed from the team, I'm sure. Stingray, thank you for the super chat. He says, glad to see you back, Woo. Yeah, good to be back. Good to be back. Nick Koenig says, Uncle Woo, I'm happy you're back home safe. Football wasn't the same without you. Look forward to your videos every day, and go Bucks. Hope all is well. Yeah, Ohio State and Texas hanging on. No losses. In Oregon and Miami. Who's left really undefeated? Ohio State, Oregon, Texas, Miami, Penn State. Is Penn State really ranked in the top 5 of the AP poll? That's alarming. Is there anybody in the chat that would pick Penn State to beat Clemson? Never mind Bama, Georgia, Tennessee, a lot of one-loss teams. Uncle Badass, thank you for the super chat. Glad you're back. You the man would want to give this stream a like for Lou. Go Dogs. Yeah, hit the thumbs up. That's free to do. It's a great idea, too. 327 people in here. Can we get to 150 likes? I think we probably can get to 150. Chris Thomas says it's 7:31 and OU still sucks. Texas by 100. Yeah, I don't see any reason why I would pick Oklahoma in that game. I'm going to do a pick on that game tomorrow. I would have to see something or come to some sort of conclusion that I can't even possibly imagine right now that would make me go with Oklahoma in that game. But to the Oklahoma fans, don't forget, I picked Texas last year, and you beat them anyway. So my pick has no relevance on the outcome of the game. But Texas is obviously favored to win and likely will win. Texas minus 14.5. Yeah, big favorite. Big favorite there. How about Kentucky's a 14.5 point favorite over Vandy? How about that? Oklahoma underrated. What? Is Oklahoma even rated at all? I don't know. I'm seriously asking. Do you think Indiana got a shot for the playoffs? We'd have to pull up their. I know they're undefeated. So I think any 10-2 team from the SEC or Big Ten is getting in. So let's look at Indiana's schedule. I've made a lot of money betting on Indiana this year. I know that to cover the spread. Let's take a look at Indiana's schedule, though. Here it is. Put it up on the screen in that way y'all can see it too in that. All right, 6-0. Not too many teams can say that. But the schedule does get more difficult in the second half of the season, clearly, as you can see. So with the best team they've played so far is who? I mean, who's the best team they've played? Now, they've beat the shit out of everybody they've played. The closest game they had was right here, 2 touchdowns against Maryland. But even this next game, Nebraska, they're off, and then they play Nebraska. So that's probably the best team they've played so far will be Nebraska. Washington beat Michigan this past week. Washington is probably a tougher game than anything they've played so far. At Michigan State, that's probably similar to some of these games they've already played. But then Michigan, Ohio State, and Purdue to end the season. I mean, they might go 10-2. If they get past Nebraska and Washington, then they're in pretty good shape. If they get past Nebraska and Washington, it's hard to see more than 2 losses in these last 4 games. So I don't know. What do y'all think? What do y'all think about Indiana? Justin Farmer says, man, we have solid receivers, 4-star Nitro Tuggle and Anthony Evans, and the guys coming in next year, and a possible flip with 4-star CJ Wiley. Really like the talent we have. Okay. Listen. At some point, we have to be a little, we got to be real with what we have at the wide receiver position, and it's not good. Okay, Georgia's leading wide receiver has 240 yards for the year. For the year. That's why this list of people you just named are all 4 stars. Okay? A high-end wide receiver would be stupid to come to Georgia. I hate it. I want some, just like everybody else does. A high-end wide receiver is stupid to come to Georgia. They just are. Georgia's best chance at having a great wide receiver is an unknown 3-star like Ladd McConkey, who is a diamond in the rough and, lightning in a bottle, and you don't know what you're getting. Or possibly a 4-star that, for whatever reason, is a little underrated by recruiting services. Georgia's not getting any of these high-end wide receivers. They're just not. Let me ask you this, Justin. If Ryan Williams played for Georgia right now, how many yards and touchdowns do you think he would have for the season right now? He'd have 150 yards and 2 touchdowns for the entire season, and he would hardly be playing. And that's just the reality of what it is at Georgia with the wide receivers deal. That's just what it is. That's just what it is. And now Georgia's got no wide receiver 1 at all. Georgia doesn't have a single player that can play outside wide receiver. None. They've got Dylan Bell, Dom Lovett, and Arian Smith are our 3 leading receivers now. They're all slot receivers. Arian Smith is our leading receiver. Arian Smith is Georgia's leading wide receiver. The guy can't catch a cold. He can't catch. And he's Georgia's leading wide receiver. So if Nitro Tuggle was, I see these names, Nitro Tuggle and Anthony Evans. If these guys were good, don't you think they'd be playing? Come on, man. Nitro Tuggle and Anthony, it's not like UGA has a bunch of Jeremiah Smiths on the roster, so Nitro Tuggle and Anthony Evans are having a hard time getting on the field. Nitro Tuggle and Anthony Evans can't get on the field ahead of Arian Smith. Arian Smith had more drops than catches last year, and he's our leading wide receiver. So we can twist it up and, all this kind of stuff. We don't, Ra Smith gets kicked off the team. We don't need him. Doesn't matter. Next man up. No, it doesn't matter. We got Colby Young coming in. Don't matter. Don't need Ra Thomas. Colby Young gets kicked off the team. Don't need him. We got Nitro Tuggle, who's got 0 catches and 0 playing time. He's just ready to explode, though. So I'm not putting you down, Justin. I want the wide receivers to be good, but they're not. They're not. I mean, they're not. You know, I don't know. Colton Silcox, thank you for the super chat. He says, of course, the week a hurricane hits and we get No Your Season is Over videos like the biggest upset weekend ever. 2 weekends in a row. First of all, anytime Georgia loses, the Your Season is Over video. Look, I'm just going to be honest with you guys. I'm always honest with you guys about everything anyway. Not making a Your Season is Over video the last 2 weeks cost me between $3,000 and $4,000. Number one, anytime Georgia loses, the Your Season is Over video is a gold mine for Uncle Lou, period. It's just reality. I mean, the worse Georgia looks, the more y'all show up to do the point and laugh thing. I get it. It hurt not being able to do that Georgia Your Season is Over video. And then last weekend, Alabama lost, Tennessee lost, Missouri lost, Michigan lost, Southern Cal lost. Another gold mine out the window. I mean, believe me, nobody was more mad about not being able to do the Your Season is Over video than me. It was terrible timing, you know. If something happens and I can't do anything for a couple of weeks in April or May, that doesn't cost me very much money because I don't make any money in April or May. But believe me, for that to happen when it did, no one's more upset about it than I am. Believe me. Nick Koenig says Michigan might take 3 more L's. Yeah, I think Michigan and Florida State, every year they do this thing like who started the season in the top 10 or the top 15 or whatever and just completely fell off the map. Well, Florida State and Michigan are 2 of those teams this year for sure. I mean, Florida State, it's not even fun to laugh at Florida State anymore. I mean, they're that bad, you know? I mean, laughing at Florida State at this point is what it used to be like to laugh at Vandy. Hey, they beat Alabama. Eric says Hurricane Milton couldn't do as much damage to Bama fans as them losing to Vandy. Yeah. I'm pretty sure Vandy lanked them, didn't he? Vandy let them know. Dang. Imagine getting lanked by Vandy. What is it, Vandy? What's Vandy's slogan? Or what's Vandy's like little motto that they say? Lankers down. Lakers down. Hold on a second. Do what? Again? Nico just ran out of bounds again. Hey, Tennessee man, thank God y'all don't have Joe Milton anymore. Remember when Joe Milton ran out of bounds at the end of a game instead of trying to make a play? Boy, thank God y'all got Nico. Is he still winning 19 Heismans and the election? Nico, I'm talking about. Is he still winning 19 Heismans, the NASCAR Cup, and the election in November too? Is he still winning all of that, or where are we at on that as a fan base, Tennessee fans? I need to let Uncle Lou know. Go ahead and let Uncle Lou know on that there. If you can. And I'm pretty sure that you can. Yeah. Nobel Peace Prize. Oh, boy. Tennessee will be lucky to win 8 to 9 games. I disagree with that still. Now, losing to Arkansas, is bad because they got the Alabama and the Georgia game coming up, and so they can't afford another dud for sure. I mean, I still think if Tennessee wins one of those two games, Alabama or Georgia, and they're sitting there at 10-2, I still think Tennessee will get in the playoffs. But it's a lot more pressure on them now for sure than there was before that Arkansas game. Nobody's picking them to lose to Florida this weekend, are they? When you say they're winning 8 or 9 games, you don't think they're going to lose to Florida. Anybody picking Florida this weekend in Knoxville? Not now. If they were playing in Gainesville, okay, yeah, but I don't think y'all don't think Florida's going to beat them in Knoxville, do you? Who won the fight in the casino? There was no fight. There was no fight. But where's all the "you would never say that to my face" people? Where are all those? Are any of y'all in here watching? How are y'all doing? Y'all okay? Where are all those people at? Yeah, right. How about the Bama fans? What about them? Josh Pate says Florida's going to win. No. He literally picked Tennessee, didn't he? Bet 200 on Vandy money line. Betting Vandy this week is one of the dumbest things you could possibly do. You either have to bet Kentucky or you have to not bet the game. You can't bet on Vandy this week, even with the points. Betting a team a week after they get their biggest win in program history is a mistake. Now, that doesn't mean Vandy can't win the game. Maybe they will. But generally speaking, that's a terrible idea in gambling. Look at Alabama. Alabama got one of their biggest wins in program history 2 weeks ago and then turned around and lost to Vandy the next week. You got to be careful betting on a team after a big win, my man. Did Tennessee lose last year and they were ranked and Florida was hot trash? Yeah, but I was in Gainesville. I mean, look, Tennessee and Josh Heupel have a road problem. Like, right now it's a 4 year problem. They can't win road games. They beat Oklahoma, but look, I mean, was it all that impressive? No. They beat them 25-15 against a backup true freshman quarterback. So Oklahoma can't. I mean, Tennessee's been struggling on the road for 3 or 4 years. But this game's in Knoxville. I've got a set of balls to say something to you. Great. Isn't Pate a Georgia guy? What do you mean? Is he from Georgia? Is that what you're asking? Yeah, he's from Georgia. Lives in Nashville now. And grew up an Auburn fan, I believe. He grew up in West Georgia, Columbus. Auburn territory. Unlike Bama, we actually win at Vandy. How in the hell do you lose to Vandy on the road? Yeah. Yeah, Saban came out and goes, it's tough to play everywhere in the SEC, except Vandy. Vandy's is DeBoer winless all time on the road in SEC games? Holy shit. Imagine going from Nick Saban to a guy who's winless all time in SEC road games. What a disaster. What a disaster. The guy can't win at Vandy? Come on, man. Come on, man. Lou, what's your thought about Jeff Collins being DC at UNC? What's my thoughts on it? Well, North Carolina's terrible, and Jeff Collins isn't a very good coach. Is that what you're talking about? Yeah, is that what you mean? He's been there. Lou, what's your parlay for this week? I like money too much to bet parlays. Parlays are suckers bet. Lou, did you fight that Tennessee fan? No. No, he didn't have no interest in fighting. He just didn't want to be on camera. Yes, they do. Georgia has 50 players that will never play, but would play on every other team. At Uncle Lou, heard Tennessee fan beat you up. You heard wrong. I don't know what to tell you. Breaking news, FSU is now suing Hurricane Milton for not pathing through Tallahassee to give them a legit reason to end the season. Damn. You called that other guy a gump right in front of everybody. Yeah. How about them Canes, Lou? I'm a lot more worried about Miami now that they're 5-0 than I was when they were 3-0. I'll tell you that, because the last 2 games were not good. Not good. Is it true that Ryan Williams is only 17 and the youngest player to ever lose to Vandy? Yes. It is true. What do you think about West Virginia? I mean, middle of the road type of team, I think. Miami got bailed out in 2 games. Blowout incoming in Dallas this weekend. Yeah, Texas is a big favorite. LSU could definitely lose to my Hogs. Well, LSU plays Ole Miss this weekend, which may end up being one of the best games of the weekend. You about got your ass whipped in the mountains. I don't understand. I don't know if some of you people are giant fucking pussies or what. I don't know. That's what it seems like to me, is that a lot of you are huge pussies and would never do anything like that because you think you would get your ass whipped if you did. So you think if someone else does it, they must have got their ass whipped? I don't understand. First of all, I've had my ass whipped a bunch of times. So anybody that hasn't had their ass whipped is either a liar or a giant pussy, one of the two. I'm neither. I've had my ass whipped plenty of times, but Saturday wasn't one of them. Jeremiah Smith can't be stopped, says Caden. Is it true Kirby going to New York Jets? The fact that you even had to ask that out loud. Come on, man. What makes you think Kirby Smart's going to the New York Jets, man? Come on. Foster Moss, thank you for the super chat. He says, Uncle Lou, they said DeBoer had more people waiting outside of his house when he got back to Bama. Oh, come on, man. I'm not even reading the rest of that. But I'm sure the fans weren't happy. I'm sure the fans were not happy. Lou, is it smart to bet that Georgia Tech puts 60 on North Carolina? No, it's never a smart bet to bet that anybody will score 60 points under any circumstances. It might happen, but that's never a smart bet. No. No. I don't think he was trying to be racist. I don't think that's what that was. Look, nobody in a casino or a grocery store or Walmart, nobody can ask you to stop filming them. The casino can ask me to stop filming, which they did a bunch of times. I've been told to stop filming inside that casino 100 times. They have a no camera policy in there. But somebody in there can't ask me to stop filming. They have you don't have any expectation of privacy in a casino. First of all, you're being filmed the whole time you're in there anyway. Bama has the 3rd worst defense in the SEC. Dang. Here's my thoughts on Bama. I don't really know. I mean, look, it's a great win for Vandy. But is there anybody in here that if Bama and Vandy were playing this weekend, you'd pick Vandy to win? Is there anybody in here who would pick Vandy to win if Vandy and Bama were playing this weekend? Bama got caught with their pants down. Now, that's DeBoer's fault, right? As a coach, you have to have your team ready to play, and clearly Bama was not ready to play. But nobody in here would put money on Vandy to beat Bama next weekend. Nobody would. Bama's a good team. Their defense is potentially a problem. And a lot of people, myself included, talked about that in the offseason, the defense and Milton's passing ability. Now, Milton, I think, has overachieved in terms of what most people thought he could do as a passer. I still don't think he's some sort of, he's never going to be a pocket passer that can pick teams apart with 15 or 20-yard throws, but he's been a better passer this year than I thought he would be. And, of course, we all know what he can do running the ball. And Alabama in general running the ball, I think, still can be really good. But that defense is a potential problem for Bama. That defense is a potential problem. Tennessee, for example, I think Tennessee is going to score a bunch of points on Bama. I'm not making a prediction on the game right now because 2 years ago we saw a game up there that was 52-50 or whatever the score ended up being when they 2 years ago when they played up there. But if you can throw the ball, I think you can put points on Bama. Now, Vandy didn't have to put a bunch of points up. Still beat them anyway. But we'll see with Bama. I mean, they got the Tennessee game. Other than that, they don't have much. Bama doesn't. I mean, they host Auburn. I think they have to play at LSU. So, Missouri, but God, I mean, is anybody still talking about Missouri anymore? After they got blown out, I mean, I guess you can include that in there. So, they get Missouri. I think the Missouri game's in Bama. The Auburn game is in Bama. Where's the Oklahoma game? Isn't that at Oklahoma? Bama at Oklahoma, right? Or do I have that wrong? And then, of course, at Tennessee. I mean, again, if we were still in the 4-team playoff, Tennessee and Bama would be in a lot of trouble because those are bad losses. Georgia has a loss to a good team. Bama and Tennessee have losses to not good teams. But we're not in a 4-team playoff. We're in a 12-team. So, I still think Bama and Tennessee will both get in if they go 10-2. Nate the Great, what's up, buddy? He says, glad you're back home, Lou. Got my paper bag head already back on. I'm down real bad. Yeah, Michigan in the toilet for this season. Michigan in the toilet for this season, for sure. Bama has one of the worst defenses I've seen them have, says LSU for life. Well, it's a combination of things. They lost a bunch of talent off of last year's team, both to the NFL and the portal. And you lost one of the greatest defensive minds of all time in Nick Saban, and you brought in an offensive guy. Now, I understand he went out and hired Womack, and y'all thought that was a great deal or whatever because he did good somewhere called South Alabama. Whatever. Turns out he's not as good as Saban, so... Joel Klatt said DeBoer is another Lincoln Riley. Oh, that's a disaster if true. Although DeBoer has won a playoff game, at least. So he's got that over Lincoln Riley. I don't care if Kirby was the DC for Bama. Ain't no way the defense would be that bad. Perhaps top 10. Thoughts on UJ's offensive play calling so far? I don't have an issue with the play calling per se. I'll tell you what you want to know what my biggest issue right now is with Georgia's offense? There's a couple of things. The number one issue I have with Georgia's offense, and it's way ahead of whatever number 2 is. But here's number 1. I've seen enough of Branson Robinson. I don't need to see him again. Unless it's 3rd and 1, 4th and 1, or a goal line situation. I hate it. I like Branson Robinson. I know he's coming back from an injury, and who knows, maybe next year he'll be something. But right now, today, Branson Robinson is terrible. He's awful. Why is he getting more carries than Nate Frazier? It makes no sense. It makes no sense. He averaged less than 2 yards per carry this weekend against Auburn. He had 8 carries for 15 yards. 8 carries for 15 yards. That's the biggest problem with Georgia's offense right now. Why am I still seeing Branson Robinson get more carries than Nate Frazier? Nate Frazier had 7 carries for 58 or 38 yards. 7 carries for 38 yards. Over 5 yards a carry. Branson Robinson, 8 carries for 15 yards. Less than 2 yards per carry. And it's not a one-game issue. Branson Robinson has been garbage. I mean, I like Branson Robinson. But my God, we've seen 5 games now. He hasn't been good in any of them. If Branson Robinson would have played the second half against Clemson, we wouldn't have beat him. Nate Frazier was the key to winning the Clemson game. We put Nate Frazier in the second half against Clemson, and we were a totally different offense. Georgia cannot just line up and throw the ball around. They've got to be able to run the ball, period. They have to be able to run the ball. Play action pass. Georgia's offense goes off to play action pass. And if you can't run the ball, play action pass is pointless. And when Branson Robinson is in the game, we can't run the ball. So that's my number one issue, is I need to see way less Branson Robinson and way more Nate Frazier. Okay? That's number one. Number two, the offensive line is a massive disappointment. I thought the offensive line might be the best position group on the team, and it's been a massive disappointment to me. So, and I know Ratledge is out, but I don't care. We have 7 NFL offensive linemen. Find 5 of them that know what they're doing. So play calling would be laid way down the list on my issues with Georgia offensively. I mean, you know, there's not a single wide receiver that worries anybody. You know, I don't know. I don't know. Ryan Williams was dancing on something right after the game. What a complete dummy. Dancing on TT. I don't know what that means. I'm a Texas fan, and I'm more scared of Vandy than Georgia. Oh, well, then you're mentally retarded. And that probably makes you mad. You don't think Georgia's going to have 7 offensive linemen drafted over the next 4 or 5 years, then you just don't know what you're talking about. Ryan Williams or Jeremiah Smith. I've seen more of Ryan Williams this year because Ohio State's just played a who's who of doo-doo so far. So I haven't watched a lot of Ohio State. So right now I'll go Ryan Williams, but we'll see as the season goes along. I mean, they're both elite talents. I mean, you're a 1A, 1B in terms of freshman receivers, but I've seen Ryan Williams do it against quality competition. Yeah, McMillan's not a freshman, though. I'm comparing freshmen. Yeah, McMillan's a beast. McMillan had more yards receiving in week 1 than any Georgia receiver has had all year, which is another part of the problem. Georgia's leading receiver right now has 240 yards for the season. We're 5 games in. Yeah, defense hasn't played great. Still can't set the edge. Jaquez Hunter, or whatever the hell his name is for Auburn, the only touchdown Auburn had was that run around the right end. Georgia can't set the edge defensively like they used to. All these people talking about Kirby going to the Jets and Kirby leaving and all that. This is why some of y'all believe the ridiculous shit that you believe. And I'm not even talking about football. I'm talking about things outside of football, because you're so retarded that you believe every meme and picture and fake headline and everything else that you see someone post on Instagram or Twitter or somewhere. And you don't take 5 seconds out of your day to look into it one bit. If you see something that makes you happy, then to you it's true, and you don't look into it. You don't need to Google it. Nothing. If you see something that you agree with, then in your mind it's automatically true, and you don't need any evidence or proof to believe it. Period. So to you, I would say yes. Kirby is going to the Jets. A press conference tomorrow. The Yellow Jackets are coming for UGA in Athens. Wow. Okay. Now, just be careful. UGA is a little bit better than Syracuse and Louisville. Just to let you know. Yeah, Bear Bryant's going to Florida State. Yeah, that'll be the next one. Lordy, thank you for the super chat. Thoughts on Ohio? Still has a light schedule, but do you think they hold against an SEC team? Kiffin to Florida if they miss the playoffs. I do think Kiffin to Florida is a possibility if Ole Miss misses the playoffs. As far as Ohio State goes, you're talking about light on the schedule. They play a top 5 team this week on the road. In Oregon. They then play, don't they? They play Ohio State too, right? I mean, they play Penn State too, don't they? As far as Ohio State against an SEC team, I wouldn't pick Ohio State against any SEC team. They're going to have to beat an SEC team before I would pick them against any SEC. I mean, Ryan Day has never beat an SEC team, has he? Is he 0-3 against the SEC? I would never take Ohio State against an SEC team. Obviously, to be more specific, it would depend on the matchup and the game. For example, let's say Ohio State were to end up with the 6 seed and they were hosting the 11 seed, who would be, Ole Miss or Georgia or somebody, and Ohio State gets them at home. Maybe you pick Ohio State there, but generally, no. I would not pick Ohio State against an SEC team. If Georgia played Ohio State, who's favored? Georgia would be favored right now against Ohio State. That's not my opinion. It's just a fact. Well, actually, you know what? I think Ohio State would be a favorite right now against Georgia. We're talking small favorite, though. 2.5 or 3 points would be my guess. But yeah, I do think Ohio State would be favored against Georgia right now. Who's the worst football team in the FBS? Well, Mississippi State's on the list. Florida State's on the list. Who's the one team Florida State beat? Because they definitely have to be on the list. If you lose to Florida State, you're automatically on that list. Cal. Then Cal. They lost to Florida State. Georgia and Ohio State would be a pick'em game, in my opinion. Whoever was favored, it would be by 2 or 3 points. probably, my guess would be Ohio State would be favored right now, but it would be, again, a point or two. You need game day sign. Where is game day going this week? Did you hear about the Georgia Tech player that got caught smoking weed on campus? No. And if I did, I would just keep on scrolling. I wouldn't even take 5 seconds out of my day to go, oh my God, a college kid got caught smoking weed. It wouldn't faze me at all. Completely agree on Branson, but don't get me started on Arian Smith. The guy can't catch a pass past 5 yards. Do we need to go back and watch Georgia's first series against Alabama? Does anyone remember that? I mean, how many touchdowns has Arian Smith dropped in his career? 10, 15, 20? It's unbelievable. But wasn't it the first series of the game against Bama he dropped one? SMU's chances of getting the ACC title? Well, top 4 or 5 right now in the ACC probably. He's fast, though. Yeah, so is Usain Bolt. I don't see a single college offering him a scholarship. I mean, it turns out catching is actually more important than straight line speed. I'm not exaggerating. Yeah, you can look it up. Arian Smith had more drops. Do y'all know how long Arian Smith's been at Georgia for 5 years. This is his 5th year. All right? Don't look it up without looking it up. I want you to tell me right now, what's the most number of catches Arian Smith has ever had in a year? Before this year. What's the most number of catches Arian Smith has had in a year before this year? 8. 8. You're all way too high. It's 8. The most number of catches he's ever had in a season is 8. And the guy's been playing for 5 fucking years. Now, he's got more than 8 this year, which gets back to my original point. Georgia's wide receivers, down bad. Down bad. There's a fascination with Arian Smith because he's fast and he caught a touchdown against Ohio State. Which, thank you. That was great. Arian Smith, thank you. That was amazing. He caught that touchdown pass in the 4th quarter of the Ohio State game. Unbelievable. Thank you. Outside of being fast and catching a touchdown against Ohio State, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. And on top of the fact, and I mentioned 8 catches was the most he had. Let's not forget, please don't forget this. In college football, a jet sweep is a pass, okay? Now, how many jet sweeps does Arian Smith get a year? 3, 4, 5? That counts as a catch in college football. So, the 8 catches that he had, which is the most he's ever had in a season, I don't know how many of those were jet sweeps, but some of them were. Thoughts on OU in Texas? I mean, it's going to take a pretty big breakdown by Texas to lose that game. I know Oklahoma beat them last year, but Oklahoma last year had a really good offense that could put points on the board, and they had Dylan Gabriel. Right now, Oklahoma doesn't have any offense at all. It doesn't exist. It's nowhere to be found. So, where is Philip Huang Techtard III? He got arrested for smoking weed on Georgia Tech's campus. Yeah, I think Ewers will play this week. I definitely think Ewers will play this week. Brian Shagina, I think I missed his super chat earlier. He said, good to have you back, Lou. Michigan coaching staff has let down all their first rounders and team by not getting a high profile QB in the portal. Bad. Yeah, easy to second guess it now, but like, I kind of agree that they probably should have went out and got a QB out of the portal. Now, I didn't like Orgy going back to last season. And you can go back and watch any video I made about Michigan all off season long. I said, I don't think he's going to be a very good quarterback. Now, I'm wrong all the time. It's not like I'm right all the time. I'm wrong. Hell, I'm wrong just as much as I'm right. But in that case, I was right. And I think the Michigan coaching staff should have known that. I know they lost a lot of the coaches that went with Harbaugh, but the majority of coaches are, have seen Alex Orji in practice and all that for 2 years now at Michigan. They should have known, I think, how bad their quarterback situation was. Because you got to remember, Warren and Orji aren't new guys that just showed up. They've been in the program. They've been there. So those coaches should have known how bad they were. And as far as I know, Michigan didn't even try to go get a QB out of the portal. So again, it's easy to look back now and go, well, the quarterbacks are terrible. Why didn't they get one out of the portal? But really, it wasn't that hard to see that they were going to be bad. You're in Jonesboro, Georgia? I'm not sure I know where that is. Did you get kicked out of the book on set? No. They love me up there. I go up there 15 times a year. Not getting kicked out of there. Need Nate Frazier on the field more often. I couldn't agree more, Yash. I went on a rant about that about 15 minutes ago. I've seen enough of Branson Robinson. I don't understand why he's still getting more carries than Nate Frazier. I don't understand that. That doesn't make any sense. Nate Frazier is clearly just a better running back than Branson Robinson. I mean, Branson Robinson had 8 carries for 15 yards last weekend. Any random person in my chat right now could do that. I'm not kidding either. I'm not kidding. Any random person in my chat right now could get 15 yards on 8 carries behind Georgia's offensive line. Anybody. So that's just not getting it done. Less than 2 yards a carry. That's not getting it done. And Nate Frazier only got 7 carries. Now, he had 38 yards. So Nate Frazier, 7 carries, over 5 yards a carry. Branson Robinson, 8 carries, under 2 yards a carry. I mean, it seems simple to me. Doesn't block well, doesn't play. Yep, another reason why we're never getting Ryan Williams or Jeremiah Smith or any other fill-in-the-blank wide receiver that can make an actual impact. Lou, I got bets with Penn State beating Southern Cal and Ohio State beating Oregon. Be 2 good games. So you picked both road teams there? Sharkzilla says, I don't appreciate the live streams enough until they're gone. Great to have them back and add this to the Rebuild the Roof Fund. Sharkzilla, thank you. Yeah, I actually mentioned that at the top of the show. I didn't realize how much I don't think I realized how much I missed talking college football with you guys 4 or 5 days a week. I mean, I did my best to upload videos and stuff like that over the last 2 weeks, I guess it's been now, that I've been kind of out of commission as far as the live streams go, but that's not the same as just kind of hanging out and talking college football with you guys. Georgia's overrated. Well, where are they rated? You talking about the AP poll? I assume you're talking about the AP poll. All right. Let's look. Let's see if we can figure out how dumb you are. All right. So they're rated 5th. Where should they be rated? I mean, 9th is the lowest possibility, unless you also think Clemson is overrated, because Georgia beat Clemson by 30. Maybe you swap Georgia and Bama, put Georgia at 7. If you're going to talk about a team that's overrated, it seems weird to pick Georgia who at best is overrated by a spot or two, one or two. It just seems odd to single that out as the point you want to make about a team being overrated. That, oh, they're rated 5 and they should be rated 6th. They're overrated. Ole Miss versus LSU. I'm taking the points. Who's favored in that one? It's at LSU, isn't it? No one would watch it. That's why I'm not going to do it. It's that ship has sailed. It takes 5 or 6 hours minimum to make a "your season is over" video, and no one cares about recapping college football from 2 weekends ago. It's too late. Bama should not be in the top 10. Oh, man. So which one of these teams should be in the top 10? Let's take Bama out. That frees up a spot in the top 10. Is Iowa State top 10? Notre Dame? Doesn't Notre Dame have a worse loss than Bama? Is LSU top 10? BYU top 10? Who you putting in there? Who you putting? Taking Bama out, who you putting in there? Texas A&M? Pitt? Navy? Come on. That's the kind of shit that makes me shut the stream down. That's the kind of shit that just makes me shut the stream down. What are you talking with Navy? So you'd bet $100 on Navy beating Alabama? If you had $100? Come on, man. No, you wouldn't. There's no way you would do that. By the way, I watched Army and Navy this past Saturday. I'll tell you what, man. It's hard to beat that sports book for a place to watch college football on a Saturday. I'll say this to anybody watching. If you live anywhere near a major casino that has a sports book like that, and you've never been, I don't care if you like to you don't have to gamble. You don't have to gamble. I paid, I think, $60 for that chair, and it's my chair all day long. I can get up, walk around, go to the bathroom, go get something to drink, go up to my room, come back down, whatever. I pay $60. I get the chair. If I don't know that there's a better place to go to watch college football than a big sports book at a nice casino. And I had never been to a casino to watch college football on a Saturday before, ever. I've been to the Super Bowl. I've been to that same casino to watch the Super Bowl, and that's wild too. But I don't know that if you're a college football fan, I don't know that there's a better place to go to watch a game than there. I really don't. At any given time, they got between 8 and 10 different games on. Whatever the biggest game is at that particular time slot, they put on the big screen in the middle. It's basically 3 movie theater screens side by side, side by side, 3 in a row. And each of the movie theater screens, they can split up into 9 separate games. So they can show they can show up to 27 different things at one time. If you live within driving distance and you're looking for a fun way to spend a college football Saturday, the sports book. And you don't have to gamble. I didn't bet on a single game at the casino Saturday. Not a single one. I didn't bet on a single game. Not at the casino. I have my guy, I make bets other places, but I didn't make any bets at the casino. I just paid I went down there at like 10:30 in the morning, paid my $60, got my chair, and I sat my happy ass there all day long. Is the food good there? Well, they've got 2 or 3 like really nice restaurants. Then they've got like there's a bowling alley in there that sells like pizza, wings, chicken fingers, shit like that. There's a noodle bar, like a Chinese place that's open till 3 or 4 in the morning. There's a hamburger place. So they got some of everything there. How the altercation with the Tennessee fan ended up, just like you saw it end on the video. He just didn't want to be recorded. So, I mean, that was it. He just didn't want to be on video. And I told him, you're in the casino. So, like, you can't tell me to turn the camera on. There's nothing you can do. The casino can tell me to turn it off, but not him. Lou, did you ever get the stuff I sent you last year? Well, maybe. What was it? I mean, here's the thing with the Tennessee people. Was I being an asshole? Yes. I was being an asshole. I mean, the guy wasn't wrong. I mean, I was being an asshole. But but breaking news, I'm an asshole. Have you ever called in the Paul Feinbaum show? Yeah, I used to call in fairly often, but not anymore. Biggs Mike says, go blue, pay Lou. Michigan may be down bad and even suck, but at least we're not OSU. And we're going to get bent over and fucked by a duck. Good to see you, Mike. President Chip says, what's up, Uncle Lou? Hope you're doing well, man. Our dogs have a lot of work to do. Need to feed Frazier. Also, I think we should give Nitro Tuggle some game time, feed these young, promising players. If Georgia wants to get high-end wide receivers out of high school, then they got to start playing freshman wide receivers. I mean, that's just the reality. That's all there is to it. I agree. Either that or we're just never getting the next Ryan Williams or the next Jeremiah Smith or the next whoever. I mean, look at there was like 3 5-stars just in the state of Georgia. Wasn't it last year? Georgia didn't get any of them. Mike Matthews went to Tennessee, I think. Where's he at, by the way? He's not any good? Where's the Tennessee man? Didn't y'all get Mike Matthews? Was that his name? Anyway, Georgia's not getting these 5-star wide receivers. They're just not. Georgia's leading wide receiver has 240 yards for the entire year right now. These high-end wide receivers aren't coming to Georgia for 50 yards a game. They're not doing it. They're not doing it. There's Dave says Bama should not be in the top 10. Thank you, Dave. Thank you, President Chip. Thank you, Biggs Mike. Rob L says, what happened with Tennessee man after he got in your face at the casino? Nothing. He didn't want to be on video. And I told him, you're in a public place. I mean, you're on video. First of all, you're on video the minute you walk into a casino. So the only person in a casino that can ask you to stop filming is the casino itself. And the casino had already asked me to stop filming like 10 times that day. They have a strict no camera policy at that casino. So that's why every time I started filming, I got up from the chair and walked back to that area where that wall was. I don't know if you remember from the video, there's like this wall there. That's why every time I started filming, I got up and walked. When I got up and walked back to where the Tennessee fans were, I wasn't walking back there to specifically yell at Tennessee fans. I was walking back there because that's what I did every time I got ready to film a video. I got up from my chair and walked to that back area. It just so happened that the Tennessee game had just ended, and I'm not lying, there's probably 500 Tennessee fans there. And they were all walking that same direction that I was walking at the same time, and I was yelling 1998, and Tennessee sucks, and you ain't never going to win nothing, and Nico for Heisman and all that. And most of them were laughing. Even the guy that got mad was laughing at first, but then he just kept yelling, stop filming me, stop filming me, stop filming me. And, but that's all. Nothing else happened. I don't appreciate, thank you, Shark. I read that already. Yash Shiravasta, Nate Frazier, we read that. DK says thoughts on OU in Texas. We read that one. Almighty Cake 127, completely agree on Branson. Don't get me started on Arian Smith. We read that. Thank you, Almighty Cake. Brian Shagina says, good to have you back, Lou. Michigan coaching style down the first round. Yep, we read that one. Thank you, Brian. Lordy says, thoughts on Ohio. Still a light schedule. We read that. Brandon Nodine. Hey, Lou, glad you're back. Boomer Sooner. I put information in the chat for those affected by Hurricane Helene. I work for FEMA as a damage inspector. Yeah, FEMA's getting a bad rap down here right now. Now, I didn't request any assistance from FEMA because there's just so many people that would need it way more than I do. But so I don't know, but I know they're getting a bad rap down here. Lordy says, thanks for being the most human college football analyst. Bama fan, but you make the downs of college football more funny. Well, I appreciate that. Now, I don't consider myself an analyst, and I see you put it in quotes there because you know I'm not really an analyst. I'm a fan just like y'all are. Now I'm a fan of college football. My favorite team is Georgia, but I don't consider myself an analyst really. Like I don't talk X's and O's, scheme, stuff like that. I don't consider myself an analyst. I'm more of just a reactionary, basically just a loudmouth fan, basically. Really no different than probably most of y'all in the chat, honestly. I mean that as a compliment. Like, I'm just a fan who yells into a camera. That's it. Think the Dogs are a title team if they beat Texas. I don't think Georgia's winning a national title, no. I can't think of... I mean, have they looked like a national title winning team at any point this year? I don't think so. I don't think so. Now, I think like a lot of teams, if Georgia plays well on a given day, they can beat just about anybody. But the thing about the playoffs now is you got to do that 3 or 4 weeks in a row or 3 or 4 games in a row. And I don't know that Georgia can do that. I haven't seen, I don't think, what I would need to see from Georgia. Now, things could change, but up to this point in the season, I haven't seen, I don't think, what I would need to see from Georgia to feel confident that they could beat, for example, in 3 games in a row, let's just say Penn State, and then beat Miami, and then beat Ohio State. Or like I don't know that they could do that. And it's going to be tough for anybody to do that. I mean, I hope I'm wrong. I hope Georgia gets better, but the way they've played so far this season, the second half of the Alabama game doesn't make me nearly as optimistic as it seems to have made a lot of people. It's hard for me to take a second half seriously in a game where the first half was that bad. So I don't know. Trying to make sure I read all the super chats. Eric Odom says Hurricane Milton didn't do as much damage to Bama fans as them losing to Vandy. All right, I think we're caught up. Back to the bottom now. I think we're caught up on the super chats. I think I've read them all now. Oh, no, here's some more at the bottom. Caden says, I missed you, Lou. Would you take my call? I don't know if we're going to do calls today or not. I'm really just missed talking to you all about college football. We are going to do the call-in show tomorrow. I'm just trying to make sure I've got everything set up right. I'm still without internet, so I'm running all of this off of a 5G mobile hotspot. So I've had to hook everything up to that instead of the regular internet, and I wasn't completely sure how much of it would work, not work. Would the hotspot provide me with enough bandwidth to be able to stream, so I'm just kind of testing it out. Brave Train, thank you for the super chat. He says, Extreme Gamer Mac wants to tell everyone that Georgia is the 7th best team in the SEC and is worse than Oklahoma, Texas A&M, and Missouri. What? Dave Valinsky says, I will laugh 2 weeks when Ball State beats Vandy. That would be hilarious. Well, Vandy might lose. Vandy's a 14-point underdog this weekend to Kentucky. Evan215 says, Mays, Hayes, retard reporting in. Jack Tuttle going to lead us to a Big Ten championship, surely. Well, not unless he's playing next year, because I don't. A Big Ten championship I don't think is in Michigan's cards for this year. DJ David said, miss you, buddy. Sent you a little something on your PayPal, too. Hey, I appreciate that, David. Let's check that. Let me check that. You going to the game, David? I'm sure you are. Well, I hope you are. Definitely going to be a good one. He's an Oregon fan. You going to the game? Well, I don't know. You live. Go Ducks. Hope UBA and the kids are doing well. Thank you, David. Yeah, we are. We are. Thank you for the PayPal, David. We got lucky. Y'all know Pigskin Pete. Just great guy, his whole family. Anyway, but they let us hole up there for 5 nights. Me, the lady, her 2 kids, and our dog. And of course they were great. But I know that's not easy to do. Basically have an entire family and their pet move into your house unannounced, basically, for a week. They got 2 kids of their own that are in school. They have their lives that are going on during the week and all that. It's a big disruption to have an entire family move into your house for a week. And it's not like we're family. I mean, I kind of feel that way about Pete sometimes. He's probably my best friend there, Pete. I love Pete to death. There's nothing I wouldn't do for him. And if he was ever in the same situation, I, of course, would do the same for him. But still, it doesn't go unnoticed to me that that's a huge disruption in someone's life to have an entire family and their dog. And Pete doesn't have a dog, so it's not like, they're used to having dog running around and all that. Like, they don't have a dog. They have a cat, which makes it even worse because the cat don't like the dog. And so that whole thing. But, they welcomed us in. They put all of us up, for a week and would have let us stay longer. It's not like they ran us away, but we had to get back home just to take care of some things, but they were great. They were great. Would you protect Pete when Dave Dern finally got his hands on him? Pete don't need me to protect him. Pete could handle that, I think. Thoughts on LSU Ole Miss? I think it might be the best game of the weekend. Now, there's bigger games, Ohio State, Oregon, Texas OU, marquee names type of deal. But that LSU Ole Miss game could be really, really good. And it's a hard game to pick, too. Don't you think? Now, if it wouldn't have been for the Kentucky game, I think just about everybody would be on Ole Miss in this one, but it's hard to get that out of your mind, right? And they are playing at LSU, right? Yeah, high scoring, I think. I do think it'll be a high scoring game. Yes. I still think Ole Miss is the better team over the course of the season so far. It's easy to just look at the Kentucky game and go, oh my God, they couldn't beat Kentucky. There's no way they're going to beat LSU. I get it. But I don't know. LSU should have 2 losses, right? Let's just be real. LSU lost to South Carolina. Now, the scoreboard didn't reflect that at the end, but LSU lost that game. And Ole Miss beat the soul out of them. So, I don't know. I like Ole Miss, but you have to play there. It's tough. So we'll see. But I'm probably going to pick Ole Miss in that one. Yeah, if Trey Harris can't play, he's their best receiver for Ole Miss. Thoughts on the no call and the targeting from the Miami Cal game? I thought it was targeting. All right. The week before in the Virginia Tech game, I don't think there was enough evidence in the replay, either one way or the other, to overturn the call. So it's not that I think the officials on the field got the call wrong or right. I think the replay officials should not have overturned it, whatever the call on the field was. But I just think that's just two bad referee decisions, and that's the end of it. I don't buy into this thing that the ACC is all of a sudden choosing to protect Miami. Why? Because they've never won the ACC in the 20 years that they've been there? Why aren't they protecting Florida State? So I don't think there's this whole thing about if there's a conspiracy and the ACC is propping up I don't buy that. The referees are just terrible. Not just in the Miami games, in every game. Refereeing in college football is terrible. Across the board. It's just there's just people that aren't good at their jobs because they're part-time people. You ever work somewhere full-time and then there's other people that just work part-time? The part-timers don't know what the fuck they're doing compared to the full-timers. They don't. These people are teaching middle school social studies Monday through Friday and then refereeing the biggest college football games of the weekend on Saturday. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. So I just think it's bad, just bad refereeing. Do you think Georgia Tech has a chance in the ACC championship? I don't even think Georgia Tech's getting to the... What are you talking about? Do you? Man, come on, man. Are you going to do a live stream of the Oklahoma-Texas game? It looks like the... I don't know what time is that game. It looks like the Patreon stream will be primetime games, and YouTube will be 3:30 games. If you want a conspiracy, I'll give you one. I'll give you a conspiracy. There you go. Georgia won the national title in 2021 and 2022. Last year, in 2023, Georgia ranked like 125th in the country in penalties called against the opposing team. In other words, there were no penalties called against whoever Georgia played last year. They had their opponents were called for the least amount of penalties, except for 8 other teams or whatever it is. They were like 125th in the country, penalties against the opponent. This year, Georgia's played 5 games this year. Georgia's played 5 games this year. Do you know how many penalties have been called against the opposing teams Georgia has played this year? Total. Just take a guess. What's the total number of penalties called against Georgia's opponents this year in 5 games? 12. 12 total. Georgia's opponents have been called for 12 penalties all year. Now, I don't think that's a conspiracy. I think it's a weird coincidence because I just don't believe that these officials are somehow pulling for or against one team or the other. Plus, let's think about it here. When Alabama was busy winning, right, what did everybody say about the officials? Oh, the SEC officials are just protecting their cash cow, Alabama. Okay, well, now Georgia's winning, but somehow the officials are against the winning team now, so none of it makes any sense. I just think it is a weird stat. It's a weird stat, but to me, that's where it ends. It's just being weird, because it is weird. Why is Georgia Tech so overrated? They're not even ranked, are they? What's going on here? Why is Georgia Tech overrated? They're not even ranked. I don't understand what's going on here. Bump Jaw's head or something. I don't get it. Is SMU legit? I think they're a legit ACC team. Who's better, Arian Smith or Jeremiah Smith? Five-star dummy. No, Shrim, that's projection on your part. See, if you ever had the balls to do anything like that in public, which you don't, because you think that if you did, you would get your ass beat. So you assume if someone else does it, that they must have got their ass beat. But that's not how the real world works. If you left your basement every once in a while, you'd understand that. But no. But that's you're projecting there. See, you're scared to do anything or say anything to anybody in public, period. So you assume if you see someone else do it that something must have happened. I would never do that. I'd be scared to death. That's projection. Trespassed from the casino? No. What? No, I was up there for 5 days. I was up there Friday. When did I go up there? Friday? I was up there Friday to Tuesday. Now that was Harris in Cherokee. Is Oklahoma's offense a QB issue or a scheme issue? How bad is it really? Well, they definitely have a quarterback issue. I mean, they put all their chips in the Jackson Arnold bucket, and turns out he's terrible. I mean, they ran off Dylan Gabriel for Jackson Arnold. Let that sink in. So they obviously dropped the ball big time there. Anybody here ever had bison burgers? I have not. But Pete's in Nashville. Pete sent me a picture earlier. He had an elk steak, or whatever you would call it. It looked like a steak, but it was elk, which also is on the list of shit I've never had. I'm about to try a homemade bison burger for the first time tonight. I've never had bison or elk. So I don't know. I'm a steak and potatoes guy. Right. Dylan Gabriel went to, right. Went to Oklahoma to be closer to home. Had nothing to do with Oklahoma fans and the coaching staff crying about him all last year for no reason. Yeah. And Jeff Lebby only left because he got offered a coaching job somewhere. Had nothing to do with y'all blaming them for all your problems while they were busy scoring 45 points a game last year. I've got a million comments from y'all all off season long telling me that Dylan Gabriel and Jeff Lebby were the problem. Hell, y'all were doing it last year during the season while you were busy scoring 45 points a game because you just can't get it through your head that it has anything to do. It can't be Brent Venables. Just can't be him. So it must be Jeff Lebby and Dylan Gabriel. I used to listen to Josh Payton and would lose all my bets. Well, I lose bets all the time, too. It's hard to bet on sports. Professional gamblers hit about 55 or 60% of their bets. So it's hard to win. Let's see if I won today. I bet on a baseball game today. Let's look and see if I won or lost. I bet I lost. Yeah, I lost. Yeah, well, not yet, but I had the Royals, and the Royals are currently losing 3-2 to the Yankees. So there you go. Yeah, Jackson Arnold, I don't see any way he's at Oklahoma next year. I don't see any way at all he's at Oklahoma next year. It's hard to bet on sports. Now, every Sunday in my comment section, everybody got every game the day before right. But, that's not reality. That's internet comment sections. I'm telling you, I've been gambling on sports since I was 8 years old. It's extremely hard to get any game right ever. Yeah, Carson Beck's the only college football quarterback that has a good-looking girlfriend. You cracked the code. That's the issue with Carson Beck. He got a good-looking girlfriend. No other quarterback in the country has a good-looking girlfriend except Carson Beck. And that causes you to play bad. Yeah. It looked like targeting to me. To me, it looked like he led with the crown of his helmet. To me, it looked like he launched and left his feet. To me, it looked like it checked all the boxes of what targeting says in the rule book. But, they get shit wrong all the time, according to what I think. Is there a way to bet on Riley Leonard not winning a championship? Well, no. Not directly. You can bet on some other team to win, which is a bet against Notre Dame and every other team besides the team you're betting on. But there's no way to bet specifically against Notre Dame, no. Not one that I'm aware of. Oklahoma State's been disappointing too. We talked about Michigan and Florida State earlier, who obviously are disappointing, but Oklahoma State's on the disappointment list too. They got all of their offensive linemen back. They got Ollie Gordon, who I think led the country in rushing last year, and they've been a disaster. So they're on the list too. When it comes to targeting, okay, yeah, we just read that. Dave Valinsky, thank you, Dave. Delmer Tripp, thank you for joining the channel. Fitty says, is it possible you may introduce the title of SoCon Kalen this season? Southern Conference Kalen. We'll see. Obviously a bad loss there to Vandy, but we'll see how they recover. I still think Bama's a pretty good team who's likely to make the playoffs, so we'll see. Take Arizona State +7 in the money line versus Utah on Friday, says Go Team. When's the next morning shoe? Tomorrow. Tomorrow morning. I actually did one today. But yeah, tomorrow morning. All right, I'm going to get out of here for now, though. I wanted to test everything, make sure it was working. We will do the regular call-in show tomorrow at 9 p.m., so I hope you'll all tune back in. We'll open up the phone lines, and I'll talk some college football with you guys. But it's good to be back. I missed y'all. I appreciate y'all coming to hang out with me tonight on a Wednesday night where I don't normally live stream. But I just missed y'all. I missed talking college football. Wanted everybody to know I was back and up and running, at least to the best of my ability. I still don't have my home internet service restored. It's still out. I'm having to use a 5G hotspot to do the live streams through my computer and that. So we're going to try to get back to a regular schedule. So call-in show tomorrow night at 9. Saturday morning, 9 a.m., I'll do the college kickoff show. The streaming schedule for Saturday right now, it looks like the Patreon stream will be the primetime games, and the afternoon games I'll probably do on YouTube. Check out the Patreon if you want. There's a link in the description of the video. We have a great time on the Patreon streams. I encourage everybody, of course, to join up. And I will see you back here tomorrow night at 9 p.m. for the call-in show. Have a good morning.